got a photo guy with me that you should be tapped in with. If you ain't, uh, good thing you tapped in and you're watching this because you get to learn a little bit. Mr. Photo Guy, tell the people about yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Javohn. Everybody know me as JKO Pics. I am a photographer, um, mostly a product photographer. Everything I do is kind of based around product photography. Also, I'm a filmmaker, producer, and creative director. I've been doing it for, let's just say, a long time. I don't want to overdate myself.
I'm gonna start with my first question. My question that I hijacked from my favorite movie, Brown Sugar, where the main question throughout that was, when did you fall in love with hip hop? So I'm gonna flip it because that's what I do, and I'm gonna ask you, when did you fall in love with photography?
When I was in college, it was a trip. I went to college, and I decided like I wanted to take something other than just the general classes.
Hmm.
And I decided to take photography, and it was just really a way for me to kind of like open up and get to know girls better, to be honest. And I would go around the campus. I'll go around the campus with the camera and be like, yo, let me take your picture. And it just, they were very open to that. Like, sure, you're a photographer. I'm like, yeah. And back then it was a lot different because it wasn't digital. So you had the dark room, it's all
Yeah.
red, and you go in there, you have to process the photos and stuff. So even sometimes I'll have a young lady go in there with me and show her the process, and it just made them see a side of me that was like a little technical side, something that they didn't know. Plus, that red room get it real romantic. So I
Red
was
light
like I was
special.
like 20 years old, 19 years old.
Yeah. how did um how did navigating like the you started that way, but how did it evolve over time for you consistently sticking with it?
It was interesting because I did it, for a couple of semesters, and then after that, I kind of stayed away from it for maybe a couple of years because I got more into music. Because during that time, I also was in a music group, and
Okay.
me and my friend and I, we were really like really on top edge type situation. We were signed to a major label. We had managers. We were in the studio with major stars who were, even some of them are still big to this day. And
Really?
yeah, we were really pushing through that. And we were young, so we were getting, pushed around, and a lot of people trying to have their hands in us because we had a very unique sound to ourselves. For us to be West Coasters, we had a little East Coast feel to it as well. And we just had a lot of skills to produce music
Yeah.
before this digital era. It wasn't like now and anybody can do it. I really had to learn how to run a studio, make songs, master, mix, all that stuff, and be very creative, sampling and things like that. So I kind of had put the photography down for a minute, and then I did that for a little bit and transitioned into the relationship with my wife, who I'm with right now.
Hmm.
And once I got with her, got more serious. I was working at a company, and I was like I was the shipping clerk. So I was at the bottom of this company. It was a actual pager company. It was a pager
Okay.
company with a pager broadcast company. So we actually were the ones who provided all of the the bar rates, which was their phone number frequencies, to over 1,500 resellers.
Oh,
And
really?
so, yeah, like Kaiser was one of our biggest clients. Like we're like one of the
Mm.
largest distributors of the frequencies in the nation. And so I was
Okay.
the bottom dude in that company, but being a shipping clerk allowed me to meet a gang of people. Like all the bosses would come in there to get their stuff shipped. So I'm very charismatic. I would talk to them and learn a lot.
Yeah.
And this was the first time I got in front of a computer where I was able to take my artwork because I would draw a lot,
Yeah.
and I would take my artwork and scan it and then add color to it. That was the first time
Mm.
I kind of taught myself that. And I had like to go back a little bit. When me and my friend were doing the music, we worked for a company called Brambles, which was a file storage company. So we would literally drive files and pick up files from law firms and film production studios, Fox, the Avenue of the Stars. I was over there all the time.
Okay.
I was in Prince's building,
Really?
1999 Avenue of the Stars. Yeah, 2020 Avenue of the Stars, Fox. I was on Fox Live, all that. So what I would do, what we would do was me and my partner, who was my music artist partner,
Mm-hmm.
we would have routes together and our routes would be timed. So what we would do is we would drop off all the stuff at one building on the loading dock. The security was cool with it, so they'll watch it. And he'll run up all his stuff, and then I'll go to another building and do it. And so we're doing
Mm.
two routes simultaneously versus at one time and another time, which gave us more time of free time from
Yeah.
our because we would doctor up our our time sheets to look like we're going back and forth, but we knocked everything out.
Yeah.
And what I would do is I would go to the Fox lot on Pico and Avenue of the Stars, and I would have like normal clothes. So I would dress in normal clothes, and I would go in
Mhm.
their cafeteria and I would sit there and I would draw pictures all the time, and I would just meet
Mm.
people. You know, I even met like I dated an actress. I'm not gonna say her name. I want to say names. But I dated an actress from meeting her there.
Come on, man. We want the exclusive. No, I'm playing. You good. You good.
So I saw her. She had a Range Rover, and I was like, "Yo, that's dope." And I didn't even know she was an actress at the time. It didn't click on me. She was pretty
Mhm.
popular though, and we just chummed it up and got her number, and we hung out and stuff. And then when I figured out, I didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
But while I would be inside the cafeteria drawing, people would come up and they see my art, and they're like, "Yo, you're good. What division you are for?" Now, since I delivered at Fox, I knew which floor to say I worked for the Simpsons division, and I knew all the people names to say
Yeah.
because it's a whole separate area from the building to the lot. So
Yeah.
they're such and such such such. So I made a lot of connections that way. I ended up working on Independence Day through that.
Really?
Yeah, I worked on that as a PA, and that happened through. We almost got on the soundtrack for Honey. We blew up the kids because remember I told you we did rap music,
Yeah.
and our producer he kind of like hated on us a little bit, kind of never answered the door to give us our music. So when we got there to give them the music, we were like, "Well, we don't have the song recorded, but here's the lyrics, and we have the music. We could perform it for you." She's like,
Yeah.
"That's cool and all, but we have a deadline. Y'all missed it." And then I was like, "Oh, it was hurting," but I was like, "What's that over there?" Because they did the movies at Langston Hughes Aircraft Base. Used to be in Culver City. Now it's like the
Mm.
Clippers are right there, but it used to be
Yeah.
aircraft hangars there. So I used to film all of the movies in those. And
Oh,
so she was
really?
like, "You guys want to meet Will Smith?" And I was like, "Yeah." So took us over to the other hangar. We ended up meeting him. I was just like
Nice.
wowed out because they're filming pretty much the whole movie inside of there. You see the big alien ship, everything. And I was like, "How can I work on there?" It's like, "You ever did PA work?" I'm like, "What is that?" And it's like, "You can just do things that we need you to do." Bam,
Yeah.
I'm up there 3 months working. So
Really?
that got me into the film. So I'm like, oh, I'm around music, I'm around film, I'm
Yeah.
drawing. And so from that point on, now we move forward. I get with my girl, we get married. I'm working in the shipping. I had all these drawings that I used to draw over there at Avenue of the Stars, and I started turning them into digital cartoon artwork. And one day the vice president comes inside of the shipping department and he's
Mhm.
like, uh, you know how to he's like, you know how to do logos? I thought I was in trouble because he called me drawing like on the computer.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I did because I done logos for my uncle in the past when I was younger. Since I could draw my uncle needed a logo. My cousin like Javohn could draw. So he paid me $200. I did a logo for him, but I was like, 10 years old. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know how to do it. He was like, I need a logo. How much you'll charge? I said, he said, wait, just think about it. Come back, tell me tomorrow. I said, tell me about the logo. So he told me about it. I went home, told my wife, I was like, yo, Henry want me to do a logo for him, but I don't know how much it charge and I need a computer. She was like, oh, my job. She was working at Hawthorne Savings. She was like, my job has a program where we could get a computer, the best computer
Mm.
that's out now. At that time, it was Gateway. Gateway was like
Yeah.
Apple. They had stores everywhere like Apple have now. So we got
100%.
the best, latest, greatest Gateway computer the next day. I got it. I
Mm.
got on the internet. That's when I learned about connected to the internet and all that. And I started figuring out, looked up how to like how you charge for a logo and stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, yo, people charge a lot. I was like, I'm scared to ask this guy for this much money. So I did. It took like a week, and then I seen him again. I was like, "Hey, Henry, you still need that logo?" He was like, "Yeah, how much you gonna charge?" And I told him. So at the time, I said $800, which back then 800. Right now, that would have been probably like 3,000. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
like $800. He's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Dang," he said that so easily. So so I ended up doing the logo for him, and I did 10 versions of the logo. I did them
Mm.
full color, everything. I went to Kinko's. Kinko's wasn't FedEx Kinko's. It was just Kinko's. It was brand new too. I went to Kinko's and I had printed them out on this glossy paper,
Hmm.
had each page laminated, put in a folder, and then I had the front of the folder, I had a laminated of the name of the company on there. And when I saw him, I gave him the folder. He went to his office, came back, gave me a check. I was like, he flipped through the folder and he looked at me. He said, "These are nice." I said, "You like them?" He said, "Listen, the thing I like is your presentation." He
Yeah.
said, "Presentation is going to get you further than anything in life, and you already know how to do it."
Yeah.
I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, I didn't want to give him a piece of paper, I was like, he paying me this much money. I need to give him something nice. You know what I'm saying?
So nice.
Yeah. So that my mentality already understood, that brand image type situation where,
Yeah.
it's about how you present things, So
Delivery.
yeah, exactly. So from that point on, I'll say several months later, I had a friend I went to church with, and she was in sales and she was looking for a job.
Mhm.
His department, Henry was the vice president of the company and over sales and marketing. So he was like really the top dude under the owner. And
Yeah.
I had told her that they were hiring in that department, so she applied for the job. She ended up not taking the job because she got another job at Oshkosh Bagosh. And I happened to just see Henry in the restroom. A funny place to ask somebody this question. I'm standing in the stall. He's next. I'm looking at him like, "Hey, Henry, can I apply for that job?" He was like, "This is not the right place to ask that question." I was like, I don't see you often." He was
No
like,
time better
"Yeah,
than the present.
hey, you guys make it happen." And I was like, he was like, "Yeah, you can apply for it. Now, if you get the job and you can't handle it, you won't be able to go back to your job because we're gonna fill that
Go
position."
feel it.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do it. And so I ended up getting a job. He took me under
Mm.
his wing. He started showing me things. This is when I started learning about domain names, and he was having me buy domain. He was like, "Come here, y'all young African Americans, y'all have hip words and stuff. I want you to give me all these hip words. For each hip word you give me, I'll give you $10 for it." I was like trying to come up with hundreds of words, right? And he was buying them, parking the domains, and I didn't know about that. When I caught on,
Yeah.
I started
Yeah.
pulling back. I was reluctant to give him all my sauce. You know what
Get,
I'm saying?
give him the keys to the city.
Yeah,
Like, nah, you got to
yeah.
pay for this.
And Henry, he was a German dude. He was real cool. He
Yeah.
was cutthroat, because he ran the marketing department, and it was a lot of women in there, and there was one other guy. He was Indian, and his name was Saeed. And
Hmm.
the sales and marketing department was the top department of that company. So I literally went from the bottom part department to the top
To the
department.
top. Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
while I was in there, I started teaching myself different things. Like I got on Microsoft Word, and when I realized that you could link a page to another page,
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh!" So then I would get all of our new pager pictures, put them on a page, and I would put little words on there, and have it when you click it, it go to another page with a big picture of it and the
Hmm.
description on there like that. And I went to the IT department. I knew a guy named Mike in there. He's also had went to my church, and so I was like, "Hey, Mike, is there a way you can send this flyer to all of our resellers to their email so they can see it?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "No, not where they have to like click it and read it. Like when they open their email, they see it in their email and they can click and it go to the links because I linked them to the website pages." He was like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
could create something to do that, right?" And he
Hmm.
did, but I didn't realize it. So then,
Mm.
like near the end of the year, it was around Christmas time. We had this thing where the top salesmen get a bonus called
A bonus.
spiffs, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and so they called my name as the top sale. I'm talking about all the salespeople was pissed. They was like, how is this possible? Like he's new, he don't even know this world. I've been doing it 10 years. Like they was hating on him except Saeed. Saeed was cool. And
Yeah.
so then I got like $5,000 bonus. I had made so many sales
Mm.
off of that, them doing that. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize it. I was learning how to do these things called facts. So I was creating flyers and just making more stuff. He just had me doing creative things. I was learning Photoshop, Adobe, um, was it Flash when it came out. I was creating motion graphics and stuff.
Yep.
Then my wife saw an ad on TV to go to art school, and she was like, "Why don't you take what you knowing and actually go to an art school for this?"
Yeah.
And so I ended up going to art school it was called the Art Institute. It was the first year that had it in California because it was known for Chicago.
Mm. Yeah.
And when I came in the recruiter, I took my portfolio because I had everything I did I always kept good, like a presentation, you know what I'm saying? So I took my
Absolutely.
portfolio when she saw it, she said, "You're the type of person we need because the school is just opening and we need people that already know how to do this stuff." And I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" I said, "But I'm coming to learn." She's like, "No, you're going to learn, but you have a great start." And
Yeah.
so she said, "What you want to take? You want to take graphic design, photography, you want to take web design, you want to take what was it? Film production, sound design." I said, "I want to take all of those." And she was like, "For real?" I was ambitious, bro. I was like
Yeah.
young, ambitious. You know, I told you I made my own album and stuff without help. So I
Yeah.
was like, she said, "We have a program that's called multimedia web design, which teaches you how to create websites, and
Hmm.
you have to learn all of these different things to make the website work because the websites are going they're going to change. 'Cause back then the website was just like a bunch of words and kind of
Yeah.
geeky looking. And they were like, we're
Absolutely.
website's gonna look beautiful, like how they look now. I
Absolutely.
was taught to make that. I'm one of the beginner people who turned
With the
all this stuff
coding and
into web.
everything.
Yeah, I learned 7 coding languages,
Mm.
back end, front end. Like, yeah, I was learning a lot, bro. Like, it
Bless
was people
bless
in
you,
my
brother.
school leaving. They was getting so good, they was leaving, going straight to jobs. I was like, I'm finishing. But
Yeah.
I was working side jobs a lot because once I learned something, I was putting into play.
Yeah.
That pager company ended up my after my first semester, that pager company ended up closing. So I was in sales for a year, started school. The pager company ended up laying me off, then later
Okay.
closing. They laid off a lot of the sales department because this was the time, the pivotal time where pagers went out and cell phones came in. It was already cell
Yeah.
phones, but there was like two-way pagers, all this, and cell phones weren't
Mm.
as digital as they are now. So it was just like the
What year?
owner.
What year we in? 98,
Yeah,
9.
I started that company in 90 into 97.
Okay.
I ended there and in 2001.
Okay. Okay.
So
Just giving reference to the audience that may not be old enough
uh
and remember the 1900s. Those was good times.
yeah, we were so in the 2000 when 2000 hit, it was 1999 and 2000 hit, it was called the Y2K bug. Everyone
Yep.
thought the world was going to be destroyed cuz all the
Yep.
computers would shut off, all the red lights would stop, you know,
Yep.
everything, trains would stop, planes would stop
Yep.
flying in the middle of the sky. So everyone's
Yep.
scared. The owner had bought all of his employees like doomsday packages. He had it down in the basement. I went down. I remember I saw my name. It was a gang of waters and all that. So that was around that time. The Y2K bug never hit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
9/11 hit, that was different. But
That was
yeah, that was
crazy.
like that year I was first year I was into that school. Cause I went to two colleges. Fresh out of high school, I went to college, did it, didn't take it serious. Then I went
Yeah.
back for a little bit. That's when I learned photography for a little bit, didn't take it serious. Now I'm in serious. Now I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
I got a wife, I got a kid, you know, I've
Hmm.
been in corporate. I traveled. The sales department, we would travel.
Yeah.
All expense paid. So I was living it up, you know. And then I was also around a lot of entertainers. I was around Dr. Dre's ghost producer, Curve Irving. I was like under him. I was that guy doing websites for everybody, but I was like a fly on the wall, learning how to do production. This. So I was meeting. I shot Bruno Mars when he was a kid. He was just little
Really?
Bruno. Yeah, his little Bruno sitting on the couch writing. That was
Yeah.
Curve pushed him out, you know. Um, I would meet DJ Quick, Snoop, big names like this guy John Nettlesby. I don't even supposed to be saying names. I was my bad.
No.
Yeah, but I was
You can say names here, man. We good.
yeah, I was around, you know, I was around a lot of people influenced, and way more than that. Like I said, many that's known right now.
Yeah.
But from that point on in school, I ended up since I got laid off, I talked to one of my professors, and they was teaching us how to do graphic design with Illustrator doing business cards. So I
Okay.
learned how to do business cards really fast, and I had learned that this thing called gang runs is this when you send your card to a printer
Hmm.
and it's cheaper because they put 100 cards on one sheet, so it could be
Yeah.
all different clients, and then they could print out 1,000 of them. It's cheaper that way than just doing one person 1,000 sheets and cutting it up. So
Right.
the amount for me to pay for 1,000 business cards was like $28. Versus if I
Mm.
went to Staples or Kinko's, it would have been like $150.
Right.
So then this provided me where I would mark up my sales to 150 for design and 1,000 printed cards, front and back, glossy UV print, right? And I was just hitting up everybody, churches, friends, anybody. Like, you need business cards. So I was getting 15 clients for business cards per month. I was
Really?
like, yo, I have to make this much money off of business cards. And then
Yeah.
business cards was turning into, hey, do you know how to do a logo?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna charge you this. Do you know how to
Yeah.
do a brochure? Yes, that's a business card just designed differently. Do you know
Yeah.
how to do flyers? I had dudes was doing all kind of clubs and parties, and I would do
Yeah.
their flyers. So I would get in clubs like nothing. I just walk me and my wife walk up to the front because I did design the covers and that every. Oh, and then I ended up working for. First, I worked for freelance while in school. I worked for this company called Fat FX, which was owned by this dude named John L, and he
Mhm.
had all the hip hop companies, basically the major labels like Capitol Records and stuff, all
Yeah.
their hip hop clients, their marketing would get done by Fat FX. So I was
Okay.
doing album covers, I was doing single covers like Nas, Wu Tang, like people like that. I was doing,
Really?
yeah, bus bench designs, big billboards. I'm like working with other dudes, but I'm literally working on this stuff, and I'm like still in school. And
Mm.
so, but remember, I'm learning all this for web development because you have to learn
Yeah.
how to take that stuff and put it into the website and make it
Absolutely.
load fast. This was before search engine optimization, and
Absolutely.
I was good at creating files where they look great, but they're such small sizes that they load fast. I was
Yeah.
just really good at understanding this whole situation of file size and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I ended up getting this. My neighbor, he was a he had a carpet cleaning company. He was Middle Eastern guy, Mike, and
Mhm.
I asked him one day. I said, "Hey, Mike, can you do you have any room for like me to come work for you a couple of days or something?" He said, "You know what? Come with me today. I want you to meet this guy. He's a black guy. I think it'd be important you to meet him." I said, "Okay, cool." So I came. I went with
Yeah.
him, and we were cleaning his carpet in his restaurant.
Mhm.
He comes out and he's like, young black man, what are you doing with your life? Now I'm young, like I had a little attitude, like, I
Yeah.
kind of like talk to me like I'm some gangbanger or something, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, eh. But I was like, sir, I'm becoming a web designer. He said, you not do websites? That's how he said it. I was
Mm.
like, nah, I'm learning right now. He said, well, when you're good enough that you can do it, but not so good that you're too expensive, give me a call. I was like, okay. So
Yeah.
I ended up going back to school, that following day or week. And I talked to my professor for my web development class, Laura, and I was like, I think I got a client. How do I actually land the client? I need to do it right now because I got to make money. I got a kid, I got a wife, I
Yeah.
need to get this client.
Yeah.
So she started kind of showing me things on the side outside of class, like just really giving me more things to research and stuff like that. And I was really
Mhm.
quick at learning. I ended up winning a web design contest, two of them. I won one for it was called Save the Western Bluffs over there in Culver City. It's like these bluff areas, and this organization wanted to do a fundraising to save it, and they needed a good website. I won that. Then I won the website to do Jackie Robinson's first website. So I
Okay.
won that contest. So I had those in my web design portfolio.
Yeah.
Then she taught me how to ask the proper questions when you have a client who need a website because
Yeah.
a lot of clients they want, but they don't know what they want
They
and
don't
they
know
don't
what
know
they
what they
want.
need. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the same time. So you have to not only get the client, but you have to educate them while getting them. That was something that
Absolutely.
I had to do. And so once I got out of that class, I got an A in that class. I called Greg, right? His name is Greg Doolin. I called him right away. Hey, Greg, remember me? I'm Javohn. I do the website. He said, oh yeah. I said, can we have a meeting? He said, come down. So I ended up, planning to go down there. I went down there, had just a polo shirt on, had my laptop, and then I just kind of showed him some work I did, explained to him the contest I won, and
Mhm.
then asked him what he wanted. Then I gave him the questionnaire. I said, I need you to fill this out. This is very important. You could get it back to me. So he's like, no, I'll fill it out now. So he was reading, he filled out. He was like, dang, I would never thought of this question. Those questions like, how old is your target demographic? A target demographic is the people who will, I explained it to him in there.
Absolutely.
And so, and he asked me, he was like, why you ask this question? I said, because, if you have older people that look at your website versus younger people, that determines how big I'm going to make the fonts.
Absolutely.
So I said there's things like that that you wouldn't think of. He was like, well,
Yeah.
I was like, does do your photos does your photos for your, because it was a food company, does your photos have your food in paper plates or in real plates? And then I
Mhm.
explained to him why real plates would be more important even if they give them on paper plates. So
Absolutely.
having that right there was helpful. So then 2 weeks later he calls me He's like, "Hey, Javohn." He called me Javohn. Javohn. Um, I decided to go with you for the website. I was
Yeah,
like, wait a minute, I thought you already was going. He said, nah, nah. When someone's asking you for a price for something, no, they're asking other people too. I was like, oh,
100%.
okay. What made you go with me? He said, your presentation. Right back at it. He said the way you presented, the questions you asked, let me know that I could trust you with my money and that I'm gonna get not only what I asked for, but more. And I
Absolutely.
was like, you are. I'm gonna and I killed that website. I murdered it. From that, then he had this big block party he would have over there. And he lived off of like, Overland area where all the nice homes and stuff are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he lived over there and he would have this big block party and he needed a photographer. I'm like,
Yeah.
I do photography. I was taking digital photography at the
at,
school too. I was taking that
at
sound design.
at this point, how often were you doing photography?
I was doing it more often because in school, since I was taking now it's digital photography, right? It
Okay.
switched. When it was 94 was when I was in school when I learned with the camera and the film. Now
Yeah.
we're in, 2001, 2002, 2003. That's the years I went to this school. And
Yeah.
I was taking digital photography and I started my own this modeling agency called Natural Beauty Modeling. So my
Oh,
wife would
really?
go find me all these different models, gorgeous models. Some models like one model I shot back then, she ended up being the face of Caesar Palace. She's
Really?
there to this day. Yeah. Then it's like one model, her name Jasmine Monet. She ended up on Bad Girls Club when that was brand new. I had two models was living with me. It was crazy, bro. I have that's a whole nother world of story right there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we were having fun with the creativity. I mean, here I am a
Absolutely.
rapper. My wife was in my rap group. Like the rap group ended up getting bigger. That old partner I left him, ended up getting a
Yeah.
new partner, and we was touring. We was doing a lot. So it was a lot going on while I'm in school.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So anyway, um. I ended up doing the photography for him. He loved it, and he wanted me to create the design for his vehicle wraps because he started expanding. It was just a catering company, and then he wanted to reopen the restaurant because it's Doolin's Catering. You heard of Doolin's Catering? I
No,
mean,
I've never
you
heard of
ever heard
it.
of Doolin's? Doolin's Soul Food. It's like in the LA area. It's like one of the most staple black soul food companies in the LA area.
Oh,
Um,
really?
his mom used to have a restaurant called Aunt Kizzy's Back Porch. That was in Marina Del Rey. And then his
Mm.
dad had Soul Food Kitchen. His dad was Adolf. And so Greg decided to fuse Soul Food Kitchen and his company together. So it's Doolin's Soul Food Kitchen, and then you have just regular Doolin's. And I ended up
Okay.
redesigning his logo and everything. So every time I would pass, I would see that logo up there. And Doolin's is like super known in the community. Like every
Mm.
politicians, police, anybody know him. He major. He's a
Yeah.
major dude. So I was like helped him kick off his business like crazy.
Yeah.
But from that point on, I ended up doing more freelance work, working
Hmm.
under my own name called JCOD Media while I was finishing up school. I was like way advanced for school by this time. I was
Yeah.
taking class, I was testing out of classes and stuff. It was one class I took and I wouldn't do the work, and then the professor was like, you're gonna fail this class. I said, I don't know why you're gonna fail me. I could teach this class. He was like, what are you talking about? I said, man, I do this. I do stuff way better than this. I work for it, and I started explaining to him. He was like, why you didn't tell me you could have tested out? And I was like, what? I didn't know what is that. He was like, yeah, you could
Yeah.
test out the class. I was like, well, what can I do to pass? He said, well, just get an A on your final. If it's really as good as you say you are, then you'll pass with a C. I gave him three finals, bro. Like
Really?
Probably at three. And I seen him right before I graduated. He walked past and it was Bryce Bowman. And he was like, I still remember your final out of everybody. I still remember your final. I was like,
Mm.
yep. So anyway, from that point on, while I was my last year in school, I was outsourcing. I had so many clients. I was pulling in a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um I ended up getting this client called King of Music, Tim Anderson, and he had a record store on the corner of Martin Luther King and Crenshaw, which was the popping corner. And he had
Yeah.
these big billboards all there, and I was designing all his billboards. I was
Mm.
printing them out. Um, he had inside all his stores. He had more than one store. He had one on across the street from USC. In the it used to be a village over there. Now it's like apartments. But he had
Yeah.
a store in the USC village. Then he had one in Compton, in the middle of Compton, on Compton Boulevard. So I would be going to all those different stores and I would design the light boxes. So light boxes are when you go in there and you see like a poster of a music artist, and it's like a lights, it's like little lights around it. It shines out brightly.
Yeah.
So I would design those, like take the album cover and reformat the sizes. And this is really taking something small and turning it big and keeping the quality. That
The
was really,
quality
I was good
there.
at understanding file and transferring of files and stuff. So
Yeah.
I was doing that. Then I started doing the magazines for all of the stores. His family VI, you heard of VIP Records?
Yeah.
So that's I was doing all that stuff for VIP, King of Music. I was doing the mixtape. Anytime someone was selling mixtapes, I was the one that did those covers. No matter who was
Really?
selling them. Yeah, he would Cletus was just distribute out to his guys and they'll be selling these mixtapes, but I did all the covers. I would do crazy tight covers, all kind of models, video vixens, just all my little ideas, mix it up. I did
Yeah.
the 2000s and the 2001s, all the way to like 2009. I was doing those covers. Now I would just get
Mm.
paid like $80 a cover, but I was doing like 4 a week for him. Then
Yeah.
I have this client, I'm doing 5 of these and 10 of these. So it was just piling up. And then
Mm.
so once I and with King of Music, the magazines I was doing is when you go in the store, they will have a magazine, and on the cover would be like the new artist that's coming out, and
Yeah.
then it would have like the like top 100 hip hop like that. He would get paid from labels to put an artist on the front of the cover. You
Oh,
know,
really?
put the first three top hip hop, top R&B. He would get paid. He had like each page had prices. So I was learning
Mm.
how that marketing world worked with these labels before they started closing down and stuff.
Yeah.
So to speed that up, finally I graduated. I was still working with these clients, but I ended up getting a job working as the senior web director for a division of Univision, which was called LBI Media. And
Okay.
it was an all Spanish broadcast company in Burbank. And I was they didn't have no websites. So I ended up doing like
Mm.
30 websites for them for every TV show. It was Buscando Amor. Uh, that was like, that was like Blind Date. Finding Love like Blind Date. Divorcios, like Divorce Court, and
Yeah.
Secretos, that was like Cheaters. Like I was doing
Yikes.
all these websites. So I'm making these websites with Flash. So everything, people fly on there and they fly out. You hit a button and disappear, sound effects. Like I had these websites lit up,
Yeah.
and then I worked there for 3 years. Um, I felt I was being underpaid. I was making like 68,000. I should be making 80,000. And so I asked for, I got a proposal to get an increase. They didn't give it to me. So that's when I ended up going into Culver City. I went and got me an office, got some employees, had a big business plan, started and just raised JCOP Media up, brought all my clients with me and clients I got from the Spanish broadcast company because the producers in them, they had side businesses and they needed someone that could do their websites and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
I was running that business for about 10 years. And through that process is when I got into making TV commercials.
Hmm.
Then I started doing the recession came, so I had to kind of switch it all up and
Yeah.
turn it into not just websites, but all inclusive packages where they had marketing, they had digital photography for their products. So
Yeah.
product photography, they had we would create the tutorials for their YouTube, just a whole list
The
of
whole
things.
production.
Whole production, from anything they needed was in house, and I would do contracts where I would have them sign like a 1 year to a 3 year contract, meet with them monthly, and have like all these plans for them. I would get the models, all the people that's going to be shot in their stuff. I was
Yeah.
doing stuff for people from Flavor of Love, from I Love
Mm.
New York, like all them people. I
Really?
could deal with them all. Heck yeah, like crazy. Shooting the beat. That's why I don't do. People be wanting me to do like red carpets. I don't do them because I like went crazy with red carpets back then. I was doing all the filming, and I literally like was a little deeper than just like some host on red carpet. Like I had exclusivity. I knew everybody
Yeah.
dealt with me, when it came to that. So it was fun, just really, turned into all of that. But the photography is just something that just kept going the whole time because
Yeah.
photography brought me the ability to kind of like connect with people no matter where. If you was here, photography brought me to you. If you was here, it
Yeah.
brought me to you. We always can meet on the same level because everybody needed some headshots or they needed their real estate to be shot a certain way. I was doing everything you could think of.
Yeah.
Oh, and one more back. I'm gonna go back to college. When I was taking digital photography, one thing that helped me is our professor made us take 5,000 photos for that. That was the class. You had to take
Really?
5,000 photos. It could be of anything, but you had to name them properly. And this is why I'm good at
Mm,
naming things. Because, for example, if I took a picture of a yellow bus, like a big
yeah.
yellow bus, I would name it yellow underscore bus underscore truck underscore Ford underscore everything that that thing was underscore
Yeah.
school underscore kids. You
Yeah.
name it everything it was, and then when you search for it in your
Easily
Windows
find
search,
it.
yeah, I need a bus. All the buses pop up. Yellow, blue, blue.
Yeah.
I need yellow. All yellow things pop. So 5,000 photos of clouds and cars and stop signs, different kind of stops, bugs. It didn't matter, bro. But that really helped me develop my eye, my understanding for all types of photography.
Yeah.
You know, my understanding of things that I was learning, but I already knew, like rule of thirds or depth of field. I already knew it. I just didn't know the
Yeah.
technical terms for it.
Yeah. The
It was like,
terminology.
yeah, you just I was developing it as I was doing it, and it just
Absolutely.
made me really good. Once I knew what it was, I was like, you know,
Aha.
exactly. And that's like photography to me is one of the best things you can share with people to, like the one of the best lessons you can share with someone that they can take and they can do and it doesn't take from you, because
Absolutely.
it's about your eye why this person deals with you. They might not, this person might not deal with you, they'll deal with that person because they're attracted to the way that they see things and the way they tell the story with the camera, you
Absolutely.
know. And so
Absolutely.
everyone can eat in photography. If they have the hustle to go get clients, you can eat. You know, and you
Absolutely.
can always switch it up. If I'm not doing good with editorials this month, I can move into real estate. You know, one time I shot a whole doctor's office. That's all I was doing, shooting doctors. You know, it's
Hmm.
like, and that's a
Yeah.
whole different style, you know, but I had to
Yeah.
learn it, you know. So that's what I like about photography is it's always somewhere where you can be professional and get paid for it and still enjoy what you're doing, and you're constantly learning more and more and more. And as the cameras got better, oh my god, life just got easier because I already was doing I was doing hard stuff making it easy. Now
Yeah.
that's not hard at all because I don't
Yeah.
have to make it easy. It just does it for me, you know. So that's pretty much it. I didn't mean to be so windy.
No, no, no. That's perfect. I like what you said about photographers and how a camera really is a communication tool, and you learn kind of who you could tap in with based off of how they photograph. I thought that was very impactful. You said a lot of impactful things, but what you just said that made me think about even how you and I are here having this conversation, right? It was more so of two brothers in LA, even though you from here, but just you could tell the by how we took pictures and how we move, like the stories were probably similar, and there was some similarities there that will allow us to connect and to build.
Yeah.
Photography could do that to you without even saying words, really. It's just the way
Mhm.
you move and how you capture things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I met you, man, I was like, he's killing it over there. You had the whole setup. And that's what I like is everyone have their own way of setup, you know.
yeah,
Sean, he got the flying around and the pack and stuff. You got the right lighting systems that work for what you do. I'm very
yeah,
mobile because now you understand why I move so much because I don't shoot for one thing. Like I
yeah,
had to shoot for websites and the album cover and
yeah,
the profile all in one shot. I had to be like that. So I had to know how to get angles. I had to shoot very, very wide and shoot
yeah,
at such a high definition that I can, crop in and it's still good quality because this is for the website and then I'm cropping in and that's for the album cover and it has to be square and then I'm
yeah.
cropping in and now it's a profile shot. So I had to know how to get three things in one shot, so
Absolutely.
I'm a mover, I can't carry so much. I mean, if they don't fit in the
Yeah.
backpack, it's not gonna work with me, so that's
Yeah.
how I am.
You're big picture focused too, and like you see things. Again, that's that perspective on how a regular person's gonna look at it like this, where you're chopping and screwing it up in three or four different ways because you're thinking about big picture, which
Yeah.
is key, which is special in itself. Where in LA you from?
I'm originally from Compton, now born and
Okay.
raised.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. How does being from Compton, like I everything you said, I equated to like that hustler spirit, being able to learn everything from A to Z. How much did Compton have to do with you dipping and diving into all the things that you did and ultimately getting you to where you at now.
It has everything to do with it. It's really Compton, the city of Compton has so much rich history.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't know, like when you're from Compton, you know a lot about it. You might know everything about it. Like a lot of people don't know that President George Bush Sr. is from Compton. You know,
Oh, really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
the first NFL commissioner is from Compton. This was when it was white. Then
Yeah.
it became black, and we have so many people we can name from Compton from that. And then now it's mostly Latin, and we can name so many from that. Remember, I worked
Yeah.
in Latin community, so
Hmm.
I know all them Vicente Fernandez and Lupe Rivera. I know I met these people before they passed and stuff. So I
Yeah.
know like the richness of Compton, and I could say to answer your question, it really produces a drive because it was kind of like you either gang bang or you make it happen some other kind of way, but
Yeah.
it's one or the other, but you got to make it happen, or you're just gonna
Absolutely.
get left behind because everyone was moving.
Yeah.
Everyone's moving fast. And
Yeah.
it's very competitive, but not in a bad way. I think I look at Compton as more like a tribe and a township. It's very. That's
Mm.
why people are so like Compton. That's why Kendrick Lamar because it's really very tribal. I mean, it has its
Yeah.
sets. But those are tribes within a tribe. It's like a big
Absolutely.
tribe, Compton, and there's tribes within a tribe. It's very tribal, and people really respect that you're from there, even if you're not from the same area.
Yeah.
I grew up. I had all my cousins and everybody lived there. It was probably like at least 90 relatives I had living in Compton when I was a kid. So I
Really.
had cousins from different sets and hoods and stuff too. It was very interesting, but very interesting. And
Yeah.
the neighborhood I was raised up in from I would say middle school on up, that area has some kind of blessing on it in a way. Is like a lot of famous people came out of our area. I mean, the Dr. Dre, um, Tayshaun Prince. I used to play basketball with him and Tommy every day in his backyard.
Mm.
Yeah, Tayshaun, he like was like family. Bruce Bowen, just I mean, it's so many names, dudes. I'm
Yeah.
not Bruce Walker. Sorry, Bruce Walker. Went to the NFL. Kenny Landra. This one guy. His name was DJ Train. He was the
Mm.
DJ for this group, JJ Fat, and he ended up passing. His house caught on fire. He went in there trying to save his sisters. They weren't even in there, and that's how he
Mm.
passed. DJ Train, like it's just a lot, man. I can name the names could go. Venus and Serena lived around the corner from me. you
Yeah.
know so that
Absolutely.
area that we lived in, that's a small area.
Yeah.
It's big but small compared to the size of Compton, and that area alone has so many people just making it. Even infamous gangbangers I won't
Yeah.
mention, but infamous, very infamous, known for major stuff, was from the area. So like I said, it was either
Absolutely.
you go this way or that way, but you had to make it happen.
Yeah. How do you how do I don't know if it's still the same, but even you coming up as a young pup, how does a young pup navigate through life and knowing that Hollywood is right down the street? Like creativity wise, like how do you paint that world to be able to think one, you can make it there, or two, that's even possible for you to even like interject yourself into it like you did. Like how do you view the world when Hollywood is so close, but it's also so far away?
Well, one thing I do know is Hollywood is about connection, direct connection.
Yeah,
It's like who and even if you know someone doesn't guarantee you're locked in,
absolutely.
because it's also what that person know you for is very important too. So if I
Absolutely.
walk in a room as a photographer, I don't care how many movies I got on Tubi, then people see me as that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Now for me, I never like that one record deal that we had signed. That was through a management company. We dropped that. After that, I never wanted to sign no deals. I never went after deals for music. For film, I never tried to sell my scripts. I have
Mm.
this kind of personality where I kind of see people in a way where of lack of trust. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if I send a script to someone, they're gonna throw it in the trash because, why would they take mine over their own? And if they're there, they're trying to make it happen for themselves. That's just how I looked at it. So
Absolutely.
I was like, you know what? I want to get to a point where I can make my own films or
Yep.
build a team where we're making films. And that's what ended up happening. I ended up putting the film out and I executive produced it and everything and got it on all the networks, got distribution. It's a longer process But when it's who you are and it's the lifestyle that you live, it's not a long process. It's part of your life. It's part of
Absolutely.
your journey, and everything I've done from art and music, photography, film production, anything on that sound design is all part of the journey. It's all under the same umbrella. And it never feels like I'm stretching myself too far this way or that way. It always feels like it's just right. It's the right timing for this particular thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it builds up your own legacy because a lot of times we get caught up in trying to get confirmation from people where they're like,
Absolutely.
"Oh, you won an award for this." I
Absolutely.
don't I don't know what I don't watch award shows. Like it's kind of like cheering. It's like you're cheering for the op in a way,
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
like where it's very competitive. Like if I'm doing music and stuff, I have my who I like. Oh, I like this guy or this girl for what they sing and stuff, and I like
Yeah.
them. But a lot of times I've liked people before everyone liked them, and then they became super popular, and it's like I like them, but I'm not on them like y'all are now.
Yeah.
I'm not literally listening to this person now that y'all don't know yet, and that's just how I am. I'm very good at talent, like
Yeah.
seeing that raw talent because I'm always a raw talent. So
Yeah.
I can see that person that, yeah, that guy got it. He got the factor. She has the factor. They're one of me, you know.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm a teacher, so it's not for me to be the biggest person in the world. It's for me to take the gifts that God gave me and be
Right.
able to use that to help others and to teach others because they're going to take it where they need to go. And I'm very satisfied with that because what I've built and what I continue to build is great for me, and no one can take that away. I have over 1,000 copyrights, bro. Because I got really
Really.
deep into, getting things legal. I have LLCs and I just got deep into making sure that, my brand has ownership. And
Yeah.
we was doing this long time ago. Now it's more people are involved into that. But way back in when like 2004 is when I started getting into having independent ownership. Running my own music label. I've produced over at least 30 people in my life. And
Yeah.
that's hundreds of songs we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I sell music. I make a bag on selling music. People don't even know that. Like I literally sell beats for thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
and I have music that's been on TV shows and gaming, all that
Mm.
stuff over the years. It's
Yikes.
just
That's what's
you
up.
just gotta keep going with your creativity, and you don't have to be the biggest known person to feed your family. You just have to be
100%.
someone out there making it happening for yourself.
100%. Completely agree. I think the rise of the TV leading to social media and you get your eyes on so many different depictions of what success looks like. You think it's the $1 million and the Bentleys and the big house on the hill is the mark of success, but the market success is being able to pay your rent or your mortgage on time and having gas in your car. You know what I
True.
mean? And being able to uh, uh, provide 2 or 3 meals a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And take care of the necessities and then the occasional wants. I think people only just now in the social media era, people highlight the good so much. And that's all they know, especially the young pups. Us that came up before that era, I think it helps us out because we remember what it was like to be so engulfed in our own community and to see what success didn't look like.
Yeah.
That we don't even get phased by the good, only the good that people show on social
Yeah.
media.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I like that you said that because that's real. When you talk about like what's important when it comes to finance and stuff, because
Hmm.
I had to learn to scale a lot down to be able to produce a lot up.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that or don't care to go that route. It's the time I'm driving a Jag, and then I'm like, it's like it's like $1,000 a month, with the car note and the gas and insurance. It's like 1,000.
Yeah.
I was like, I sold that thing, man. I went 5 years no car, and I was able to invest the majority of that money per month, and
Mm.
get in that mind state. And it was hard, I had someone say, "You don't even have a car." I said, "Yeah, if you see my stock portfolio and yours, you will see the difference here." And it's just like, and it just had me to get more into an understanding of Like the things I do right now is not for me. It's
Right.
for a older version of me.
Right.
And that's like if I do things for me right now, then when I'm older, I don't have nobody did nothing for me then. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if I like, oh, buy this car, do this, get this, get that, look fresh, then I have it all now. About time, 10 years from now, all that's old, it don't matter anymore. Now I'm 60 years old hustling,
Yeah.
versus if I'm doing everything now, then when I'm in my 60s, I did all of that for then, for that time. I'm
Yeah.
investing, saving, in doing this and that, so that when I'm 60 years old, I don't have to do what I'm doing now. And
100%.
that was from the 30s to the 40s to the 50s. And you just keep doing that, learning and growing and investing and just basically building for yourself with a
Absolutely.
plan. Because I don't even want to be in this country in my 60s. I don't want to travel. I want to try. I want to be tempted to move somewhere else. I want to be able
with
to
linen
just know
shorts
I
on
could if I want to.
and chancletas.
Say that again.
With linen shorts and chancletas on.
Big time, big time, man. Just like just to not be able, not have to be stuck in one place, and
100%.
knowing that you can do it whenever you want to is a great feeling. And I've been feeling that, so I understand it a lot more and more. And that's what I look forward to. So I will live it within my means. And then I have children. So I literally put things for them. Like
Yeah.
someone recently told me, it's like, oh, you're because I was talking about stocks, and I'm like, yeah, I got this many SpaceX stocks. He's like, oh, that was a bad move. They're gonna crash. And I said, yeah, but 10 years from now they'll be good. Oh, that's not gonna work. No one does that anymore. I was like, no, it will grow in 10 years. Like, when you're
Absolutely.
older, you don't want to wait that long. Like, yeah, but it's not always about just me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not like
100%.
10 years. Don't just have me in 10 years. 10 years
Yeah.
have my 14-year-old at 24
Yeah.
who will need things, who will who
100%.
who who will take over what I leave, for him, So it's
Yeah.
it's more to it. A lot of times people don't know that just trying to do that daily routine is not gonna be sufficient for you down the line.
Yeah. 100%. Put a little away for a rainy day, young pups. You heard it.
Big
Set
time.
yourself up because you will become an old man one day, old man or woman, and you're gonna have a lot to say. And I know that. I mean, I just turned 40 last year, and it didn't really hit me until probably that day. I mean, I was always conscious and like trying to set myself up for, the position like my pops is in, getting older, retired. But man, once I hit 40, I was like, golly, like I need to start paying attention, man. We getting old around here.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I have this thing, I call it the bill of me. The
Mm,
bill of me. And I say it
yeah.
like this. Okay, so who's your phone carrier? Who do you pay your
T-Mobile.
phone? T-Mobile. Okay. How long have you been with T-Mobile?
Shit, longest relationship I got. 2004.
Okay, so just
Well,
20
with
22 years.
Sprint. It was with
Sprint.
Sprint, but they merged, so same thing.
Okay. So let's just say you've had a phone bill for 22 years at least, right?
Yeah.
And you've always
Man, it's been
paid it,
that
right?
long? Jesus. I ain't never thought about it.
Right. So
You said
so you
2-2?
20
I'm like, what?
22 years you paying religiously monthly a certain amount,
100%.
right?
100%.
And when you pay it, you don't think about it, right? You don't even care. It's paid, right?
Right.
On to the next time you're gonna pay it, and on to the, and
100%.
that's just a cycle that happens all year, every year, over and over, right? Now the bill of me is when you literally say, when I turn 50, because you're going to 50. When I turn 50, I want to have paid myself every month this much money, pay the bill to me. So it's when you able to, it's
100%.
not a savings, it's when you paying to yourself money that will get to you, that you have when you're that age. It's like you're never gonna touch it. And that's what we have to do. We have to create a bill for ourselves. Because you're paying everybody else. Why not pay yourself?
Agreed.
$40 a month. $40 a month to
Almost.
yourself for 20 years. Think about that. Oh shit. Hold up. Mm-mm.
It was doing so good.
There he is. Right.
It
Can you
should
hear
be
me?
good. Yeah, I hear you. Hear me good?
Okay. Yeah. 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 You're good.
Okay. No, I agree
Yeah. It's much
100%.
better.
I definitely agree with that. That's a good lesson for the young pups listening. Definitely had to learn that.
Yeah. It's a lot of ways that people do it. You know, some people get life insurance. You know, they might do stocks. They might do, but you gotta find some kind of way where you can put something aside every month religiously, like if it's your cable bill or if it's your cell phone bill. Once it's in there, it don't you don't ever touch it. You don't touch it for 10, 20 years. Don't touch it because it's not yours. It's yours of the future. You're gonna be a whole different person in 10 years. You're paying
Absolutely.
that person. That man might, you never know. You might something great might happen to you or something not great. You know, you might not have you might lose a finger in 10 years. You know, you might need to use that money to get a new prosthetic finger or something. So,
Absolutely.
it's just
I pray that don't happen
you
to
paying it forward
anybody.
basically. That's why I said finger. I didn't want to say nothing too crazy.
Put your photographer hat back on for a second. Let me get through these scripted questions so we can get some insight from you because you're a multi-layer
Okay.
individual and you got a lot of wisdom there. Uh First camera. What was your first camera?
My very first was Olympus. It was like a 2.5.
Really?
Oh well, my very first one was a Canon. It was a film camera. Yeah, it was a Canon film camera where you had to go one of those. I still have it too.
Really?
My
The
first digital camera was a
AE1?
Olympus. Yeah. What is? I still have that one too. It's kind of boxy and it had like a little long front part,
Yep,
and
yep,
it's
yep,
like
yep.
the lens was stuck onto the camera.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
that was. Yeah, I still have that one. It took a bigger cartridge in there too. Yeah. And then my
What?
first professional was a Nikon, which was given to me
Okay.
from my wife's grandfather.
Okay.
That was a Nikon Coolpix.
Yikes. That's a
Yeah.
classic.
And then from the Nikon Coolpix, you remember that? Nikon
Absolute.
Coolpix. Then after the Nikon Coolpix, I went back to Canon and I had a Canon T3i.
Classic. My
And
first one
then
too.
from Canon to 3 T3i, I went to okay, yeah. And then a Mark III. That's when I went crazy.
The 5D Mark III?
Yes, sir. 5D Mark III. One of my favorite cameras of all time. The color spectrum on that camera and the power I would get out of there. Oh, I love that camera.
My bad, brother.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, the 5D Mark III classic. Loved it. I never
That's cool.
had
I'm
it,
here.
but I used to I used to
Yes.
want it so bad.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was beautiful. Beautiful camera. It was the before the mirrorless days.
My second scripted question is first shot. You kind of mentioned it already is about getting your first shot and somebody giving you your first opportunity with your camera. I'm gonna flip it because you already kind of explained it, but what have you learned from that lesson that really sticks true to you today?
I think that, what I learned the most was that you just have to know what you want before you shoot it, kind of. Just like see the bigger picture, and then when you're shooting, shoot for that, and everything else is covered.
Absolutely. You said a lot. And you're a multifaceted individual. So, give the final frame. Give advice to somebody that is embarking on their journey similar to you, that is, looking to find their way through a multitude of things. What advice would you give that young person? Let's say they're from Compton too, or just a small town in general. What advice would you give to them to help them navigate to where they're trying to go? Final frame.
For the final frame, I would give them the advice to be themselves. If you can be yourself, then you won't change. So whenever you around people, whether you're with them this year and then you run into them 5 years from now, you'll be the same person. If you try to switch it up for other people, just because this person is this person, you try to switch it up to match them, it's not going to work out for you later on. You have to really be yourself. And that's how you'll find yourself. You'll find your eye, you'll find what gravitates to you, and you will make more people like yourself find you that way when you be yourself.
I like it. That's spoken by a true.
I feel that
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I feel that like oh it's cool. I was gonna say I feel that like you ever heard the word soulmates? People
Absolutely.
think of soulmates, they think of like male and female. But
Absolutely.
soulmate is not necessarily a male and female. A soulmate is someone who is like their soul is aligned with your soul. It's like you have the same soul. I really
Absolutely.
think that we look at things like that with a very human type of mind, but not with a godly type of mind where we could think that one soul can split itself in millions, right? In different timelines and everything. And this is why, like, if you think of it this way, like a bunch of guys that rob a bank, they're a band of thieves, so they're thieving soulmates. Like, it's not a doctor in there robbing the bank with them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
you know, the doctor is with his soulmates. He's with nurses and EMTs and they're soulmates. So soulmates link up. Our creative community, we're soulmates.
Absolutely.
And so if you be yourself, you will attract yourself.
Absolutely.
Now of course you're gonna attract some weirdos. You got to get them out, but most of the people you will bring into your life, you will match for that time in your life.
Absolutely. 100% agree. And as you mentioned, navigating through that could be very weird because you'll get some false readings.
Yeah,
You'll get some people that will hoodwink you,
yeah.
but
Manipulate.
manipulate super easy. But it's definitely worth to do because community is important, right? That's how movements, that's how people evolve, that's how circumstances advance by uniting with like-minded individuals. And of course, you could do it by yourself. The commonly known saying that I don't know who said it: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. That's the true saying. At least I believe that, and I think that's what you're saying, and I agree 100%.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna go it alone, and that's a part of the journey as well. But on that journey, you're gonna meet a lot of people. It's like a train. You just driving this train, and it's gonna be a lot of people get on, and some gonna get off at different stops. But you're still going in a direction that you need to go through for yourself.
100%. I appreciate you sharing that with me and the picture perfects conversations and people that tap in. Please let everybody know where they can follow you and how they can tap in with you, brother.
All right, Fitz. Well, if you guys want to tap into me, you could just find me at easiest is on Instagram. Just type in Javohn Javohn, or if you want to tap with me on photography, easy JKOPICS JKOPICS, and that's it right there.
Yes, sir. The photo god. I'm gonna coin that. You said a lot about like getting the paperwork together and solidifying everything. I say that so much. I probably need to go down there and get that copyrighted or trademark before somebody take it. But I
You
truly
better.
mean it. I truly mean it though. Like people that are magnificent behind the camera, like that godly, that spirit within to be able to navigate and to connect with people is necessary. And those are the ones that I want to continue to connect with on here. So again, I appreciate you for taking time out to share your godly spirit with everybody, and I hope they learn something. I did, and they tap in with you because a lot of great work comes from you, and I look forward to being a part of some of those projects in the future. I can't draw, but if you need a camera guy, you know what I mean. Like I got roles.
Oh yeah,
There's
I
some
got you right here. I
I
got you right
can't
here
make
for my
I
next
can't make
gig.
can't make no business card and nothing.
I'm working on getting ready for season 2 of the Unleashed, so you will be a part of that for sure.
Let me know any way I can bring value to what you got going on, man. I want to be a part. This is a community where I'm attempting to build a community. I mean, you've already done it. You've allowed me the opportunity to be on your platform, so I had to return the favor. But anything else that we can align with, definitely want to make sure it comes true.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. Picture Perfect Conversations. It's Mr. Five in the Zone. This is Court. Holla at us.